got back from what was supposed to be a nice easy route this morning, bearing in mind we're supposedly going to have a really tough day tomorrow. So I said, yeah, well, we'll just take it easy, we'll do a nice short easy route. And I think we've done nearly 40 kilometers and I'd say well over 1,000 meters, which is like 3,500 feet or something ridiculous. Yeah, so easy day, nothing. So we did actually take a bit of time out to session some of the corners on this ride, because this, my Achilles heel cornering, is just always lose all my speed, and I feel that's where I need to improve. So Andrew and I took some time out, he helped me there on the corners, and yeah, so we finally finished. Gonna go and get some food now and have a think about what we do tomorrow, because it might be a little too much. So today we've come over to San Rafael, which is just over the border, shall we say, from Madrid, so the next province, next county. And part of the reason we're doing that, well, a couple of reasons. One, there's some great riding around here, but two, it's virtually untrodden by sort of hikers and excursionists and stuff, and today's a public holiday, so the Sierra is going to be swamped. So we're going to come over here and see what we can find. We're supposed to be taking the easy route up, which I don't know if you can see, I'm not too convinced about at the moment. We've already been pushing the bikes. We've only been here 10 minutes. So Andrew was just telling me, for those of you who are perhaps newer to the channel, haven't seen some of my earlier videos, you know, with the old IMBA right to ride protest marches and some of the problems we've been having in the national park. Well, Andrew was just telling me that back in Scotland they actually are able to work hand in hand with the local forestry commissions and actually are able to obtain permission to build legal trails using all natural, or rather all the artifacts, the products that they find there, right? They can't bring anything with them. Yep. So it has to be fallen trees, but in their entirety, no cutting, no nothing. But then they then become sanctioned. He was just telling me that one of those trails was actually then formed part of the Scottish Open Enduro, which is awesome. I think if you gave that option, that possibility to collaborate, you know, with any of the cycling groups around here in central Spain, they would jump on that. They would absolutely jump on it. You know, no one wants to collaborate more than we do. It's just a shame that the collaboration doesn't seem to want to extend both ways. So we've got this little small descent going down now, which of course I've crashed on. I've crashed on every trail you're going to see. So
not on this trip, you're not.
Not on this trip, no. Okay, so the ground seems to be pretty decent. There was a solid bit of water on the way up on the rocks, so I hope they're not too bad. Could do with a bit of grip on the rocks. Oh. Hey. Well, it's definitely changed since last time I was here. Hey! Whoa! Nearly OTV, man. Wow. Right, gotta be careful, yeah. So, it seems to be dry at least. Just, whoa! Yeah, gotta be careful there, that's for sure. God, I've never seen this trail like this before. Plenty of firsts for me around here with all this changing terrain. I had no idea what was over that then, so I took it gently. Oi! So one thing I did mention today was that the last few days I've been feeling really quite poorly, weak, and if the e-bike had been charged up today, I definitely would have been out on it. Just getting hungry every couple of minutes and can't get any energy out of my legs. But still, what are you going to do? Could do without going in the water, yeah. So you'll notice this route is completely different to the last two rides I've done with Andrew, and that's one of the great things about the riding in Madrid. There's so much different terrain you can ride, you know, everything you can imagine, and that's why we're so lucky around here. And the crazy thing is that nobody knows that there are even mountains in Madrid. It's insane. You know, I think the highest point goes up to about just over 2,400 meters, which, you know, is like well over 7,000 feet. So it's crazy that some serious mountains here.
What do you say for?
Vamos a bajar, go down. Vamos a bajar.
A baja.
Just very literal.
So Arriba is up and a baja is down.
Bajar, bajar. B-A-J-A-R. Bajar, bajar. Vamos a bajar. Vamos a bajar ahora? Sí. Yeah. We're going to go down now? Yep, we are. The start's descent, I have no idea what the conditions are going to be like. Hopefully not too slippery. Let's give this a go. Whoa, that's new. That is completely new. This is actually a great descent. You have to be very careful because it's fast, and all of a sudden it'll throw technical passes at you. You just have to be very careful. Easy! Sorry, terrible line there. Oh. Such an awesome descent. Grindy gear, give some welly. Oh. Over the rock. Easy here. Oh, such a solid descent, and the terrain right now is, yeah, it's in prime condition now. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit! They haven't not been able to make it through there, but to be fair, that's a real pedal trap.
A lot of break.
Oh yeah. I slammed forward on the stem so hard I knocked this off and paused the ride and everything. Shit. You've really got to look for those areas of grip and support, because it's still very loose, even though you've seen all that water at the top. Quite as per usual. Andrew's actually railing it down here on a descent that he's never done, and believe me, this one really wants to catch you out. yeah. Let's go up and
yeah,
have a look.
That's a good argument for the flat pedals. A lot of people ask you if I ride flats or clips, and I like flats because it gives you a bailout at any given moment.
So I'm going to try and follow Andrew's advice here on this curve and try and come in a lot slower and then let go of the brake there. Okay. I was definitely able to get a bit more speed naturally. Yeah. Just coming out, it did feel very slow going in, but yeah.
But slow is fast.
Yeah. I'm just going to try it now.
I had a moment.
Very loose there, very loose in that corner.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to try this one a little faster this time. And maybe see if I can get my foot out and still stay in control. So I've got to remember to keep it slow on the corner though. Yeah, okay, I could feel the counterweight. A little. Yeah, I could feel the counterweight, I could feel. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to try it again. Gonna rail it. Whee! Railed it.
This is what enduro is all about, right? See a section like this, right? You or I would come in, we'd slam on the brakes, lose all our speed, and then pedal, slam on the brakes, lose all our speed, and then pedal. See if you watch Sam Hill come in here, he'd come in, he'd get speed down to a sensible speed here, he'd rail that, not pedal, rail that, not pedal, and then once he got out of it, he'd then get on the gas.
Yeah.
And that whole time, he's conserved how much energy over us?
Yeah.
Shitload.
A lot.
And it's efficiency, you know?
Alright, so we're going to try the two curves together now. See what I can do this time. Speed down. Still feathering that brake on the back. Much better this way. Oh, yeah. Much better on the left than on the right.
I am as well.
Much better. So many changes. So many changes in terrain. Andrew nearly bit the big one there. Yeah, so many changes in terrain on any one ride here. It's why it's so much fun. Yet another change in terrain. So we're now over in Segovia, Castilla-La Mancha. Madrid is back behind us, and yeah, yet another change in scenery.
A drastic change.
So heading more over to that wall, towards that way, Castilla-La Mancha. It's just flat.
Yeah, just plain.
Flat.
Yeah.
Just plains and wind. Lots and lots of wind. Back at the end of August, beginning of September, I rode from home to Santander on the gravel bike, and you go through a lot of Castilla-La Mancha, and it is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Just headwinds, very strong headwinds everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you go backwards, forwards, sideways.
Yeah.
It's just flat. It can be soul destroying. I'm really starting to feel a bit weak now. And the problem is, to get to the last descent, we've got a hellish climb. And oh man, I wish I bought the e-bike now. Just hoping it doesn't affect too much how I feel tomorrow, because tomorrow we have got a big day. Have I bit enough more than I can chew with this last descent? Bit of single track, uphill. Yeah. Yeah, we've just been pushing up a horrendous hill to get to the final descent. So, actually being able to get back on the bike is quite nice. This route has been far more physical than I'd hoped for, anticipated even. I think if we cut it off before this last descent to get the final descent, then it would have been okay, but yeah, this last one has been pretty monumental. Right, so we've we have worked hard to get up here, and I can't actually remember what any of this descent is like, apart from a little bit sketchy. But that's about it. Let's see what this is like then. I've only done it once, and I seem to remember it being pretty messy. You get your break? Me too. This is yeah, this is a little messy. I think this is going to be more about just making it down. This is, yeah, this is pretty savage. Not necessarily in a good way. I think the question of whether it was worth it can be safely answered.
I'm afraid that, yeah, it probably wasn't worth that effort that we done to find.
Yeah.
But we've experienced it, and in years to come we'll forget the time, we'll remember it.
As Andrew's saying, you know, yeah, that wasn't a great descent, and I wholeheartedly agree. That's just a big mess. A big mess of nothing. And I can see now there's a reason why I haven't been back here to do that final descent. But like I said, it's done now. Done in the bag, done. So yeah, if you come here and the attempt is to do the same route, you can miss out the last one, I reckon.
Yeah, learn from our mistakes.
Unless you really want to test your technical skills.
Yeah.
And you're as fit as an ox.
Oh yeah, sadistic. Yeah, masochist.
One of the two. As they say in Spanish, to be like a bull. Está como un toro. Or as strong as vinegar.
As strong as vinegar?
Yeah.
That's an unusual one.
Yeah. Or vinagre. See, this is where we would have just cut down.
Yeah.
And cut out all that misery.
Cross past that, yeah.